Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerd Nest podcast. I am Jebediah Superfly, and I am joined today, as always, by Havalon. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good.
We got a little background noise, but we'll be okay.
I hope we don't hear it. We have decent mics. If you hear kids stomping, well, I forgive you. And you haven't had a bad episode in like the past 6 episodes, so
Yeah,
you're due for
sound's
one.
been good. So we're definitely due for something horrible to go wrong.
But it is nice to get back doing the podcast. It's been a few weeks.
Like a week and a half.
Basically 2 episodes, or
Yeah.
something like that. But we're back. Should be
Yes.
on a normal schedule now.
Hopefully,
And
we'll see.
Hopefully, you forgive us.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy, week and a half taken off, basically 2 weeks, and really, there was a bunch of news and stuff that happened, but nothing we just had to get in here and talk about. As much as we still like to do the weekly episode, even when there's not like a whole lot of news, it's not like we missed out on a whole bunch.
Right.
And the things we did we're going to get back into. We're going to talk about Batman today. We're going to be talking about the Destiny raid and that type of stuff. But yeah, with that,
Let's jump into our movies and TVs.
jump into movies and TVs. As you guys know by now, we always start with movies and TV shows. Why? Don't know. That's just how we do it.
It just flows.
Yeah, you know what? It's just a nice flow because we get into it typically more with like games and stuff, but movies, it's like, oh, it's a nice little starter, little appetizer before we get into
I
the
don't know.
meat.
I think part of it sometimes we get into like the movies just as equally nowadays.
You know what? Yeah, it really depends on the movies. And I will say
Yes.
today we have a big one, so we're probably going to be more into anything in the movie today. Yeah, maybe when we get to Destiny Raid, we might be just as much into that.
Yes,
but,
yes. So let's start off. We got the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer.
Yeah.
Let's start with you. You're probably more on the positive side. I think you got super excited for this.
Yeah, so I got super excited for it. I liked seeing number one, Ewan McGregor looks great.
Of course.
It still makes no sense that in like 10 years of Star Wars time, he's going to turn into
an old man.
The old man from A New Hope. But whatever, I can ignore that. I was excited to see it's not just all on Tatooine because I'm going to be honest, I have Tatooine fatigue. So seeing this cool city that looks, it could be Coruscant, or maybe it could be, they could do a really deep dive and do like Nar Shaddaa or some of those planets that we've never seen in movies before, only seen in like comics and books and games and stuff. But like a city, like I really like that aesthetic. I'm glad we're gonna get that. There wasn't a whole lot to really. I mean, we're going to see the Inquisitors, it looks like, obviously.
Sadly,
and
yes.
Here's the thing. I'm fine with the Inquisitors, but the only thing that really bothered me was, you've seen Clone Wars, right?
No, I haven't, but I know who they are, and I've seen the side-by-side pictures, and...
Yeah, so the Grand Inquisitor looks like a goober. Like, he doesn't look like anyone I would ever be intimidated by.
I've seen memes, and they put, what's his name? I forget his name, the actor, but the guy who played in Coneheads, and also Ghostbusters, and they put Conehead as him instead, and it sadly looks way better than who plays.
Here's the thing, man, the Coneheads really are more in line with what the character is supposed to look like, because they're the Grand Inquisitor. I don't remember what the species is called, but in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith? Revenge of the Sith. When Obi-Wan lands on that planet, the planet where he rides that like lizard thing that makes the cool noise, the people who like he meets there, who that species, and they're like,
oh yes,
they're here, blah blah blah. That's what species the Grand Inquisitor is.
Really?
Yeah. So like, this guy doesn't look anything like them. It just looks like a guy with like some like weird stripe, kind of like stripes, but you can't even really see them on his face.
Yeah.
And the Grand Inquisitor in Clone Wars is great. He's really an intimidating figure. And this guy, he just looks goofy. His head's like a perfect circle. Like, and I don't say that to insult him, okay? Like, my head's pretty round, you know, that's just the way some people look. But it's like they took the character of the Grand Inquisitor and was like, let's do the exact opposite of what this guy looks like and cast somebody like that.
Hand me that. The little round, the round thing.
Oh, yeah.
So since we put this on YouTube now, like, this is his head.
Yeah, it's like a circle. It's like, that's fine. Some people have circular heads. Like I said, mine's pretty circular. That's it's whatever. But it's like literally the exact opposite of what he's supposed to be
like. An oval.
Yeah. So
like, honestly, like this.
Yeah,
would be okay.
It really would. So I just found that what's really crazy. When I first watched the trailer, it didn't register in my mind that was the Grand Inquisitor until I saw it later. I thought it was supposed to be Darth Vader, and I'm like, why is his helmet off? He looks ridiculous.
I didn't think it was neither. I thought it was just like, oh, new made up people. But then I was like, oh, this is this character and that is that person.
Mm-hmm.
They look goofy compared to Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Clone Wars, whatever.
Or Clone Wars, yeah. But yeah, other than that, I like the trailer. We've gotten some cool rumors recently, like, you know how Star Wars is. There's going to be rumors about everything that 99% aren't going to be true, but some people are saying they think live-action Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order will be in it. Maybe not, like, in it as, like, a character, but, like, have, like a cameo type thing.
Cameo would be... that would be cool, because then they kind of spin off another Star Wars show.
Mm-hmm, they could. Well... I don't know if they'd spin off another show because the game's already continuing to tell his story. Yeah, we should get an announcement on that sequel any day.
That is true.
Probably this summer. I bet you that game still comes out this year, actually, even though it's not been announced.
So the trailer was just a trailer for me. Like, it didn't spark, like, oh my goodness, I gotta see this. Like, I'm excited for the people who are excited. I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I guess it's because I didn't see lightsabers. You know, that's a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
For me. But I understand this is they're probably holding that back for like
there were lightsabers in the trailer.
There was?
The Inquisitor pulls out their lightsaber.
Okay, when they show goofy people with lightsabers, I'm kind of turned off. Do they know how to handle those lightsabers?
So you don't know about Inquisitors, do you?
No, not.
They're Jedi.
Well,
they were straight up Jedi that the Emperor turned into these twisted versions of themselves to make them Jedi hunters. They were Jedi.
See, I'm not crazy Star Wars. I'm just like by the movies.
Yeah.
Not by the books.
Yeah, so that's, that whole thing gets explained in like Clone Wars and stuff.
See, I need to watch it then because a lot of this is probably getting filled in.
Are the Inquisitors in Clone Wars?
But you just said that.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense in the timeline.
No, because it wouldn't make any sense.
The Inquisitors are from what's the other show?
Rebels,
I think. Yeah. Which I don't like Rebels, but I like that.
Another thing, people are saying maybe what's his name, main character from Rebels, could possibly show up.
Yeah, they could. I kind of hope they don't.
But I don't think so because I think he'll probably show up in Ahsoka.
Yeah, the
that would make more sense.
Yeah, because the way Rebels ends, I didn't finish Rebels because I really only watched Rebels to get the Darth Maul stuff, which that was fantastic. Actually, the best Darth Maul Obi-Wan scene is in Rebels. And it's like not even long, but it's great. But the way Rebels ends, Ahsoka goes like hunting after him. I don't even remember his name. I don't like most of the characters in Rebels. I just like Darth Maul and stuff. And I did like the Inquisitors.
Just Darth Maul.
It's literally the only reason I watched the show.
But yeah, I'm excited for the show, but not like, oh my gosh, season 3 Mandalorian. That's what I'm wanting, really.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that is we know
this is a different timeline. It can't be connected in any form of way, right?
No, so this takes place before A New Hope.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So it can't.
Yeah, it's not going to have any interconnection with Mandalorian or any of that.
Because this is after
Revenge of the Sith.
Well, yes, this movie, but I mean like Mandalorian.
Oh, that's all after Return of the Jedi.
That is after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be nearly impossible to see them together.
Yeah. Which it's confusing, like where in the timeline so many of these shows fall. I kind of wish Disney with Star Wars would push forward in the timeline instead of like going back. But that being said, I do love The Mandalorian. But some of these shows, I'm just like, they either need to go really far back or they need to go forward.
Like, because really far back.
What's that one character who's getting a show that I don't think anybody cares about?
From Rogue One?
From Rogue One.
Yeah, he didn't need a show at all.
I don't think anybody's excited about that.
No.
Even though I love Rogue One. It's actually one of my favorite Star Wars movies. But part of that is like the cinematography, which I think is, outside of The Last Jedi, the best cinematography in Star Wars. So that's a huge part of it. So I don't know if the TV show is going to have that. Probably not. But nobody cares about him. Nobody that
the only show I think I'm excited that is going to make them go far back in time is the Acolyte.
Yeah, the Acolyte show. That's why I'm saying if they go far back to when like the Sith are like still this major force in the galaxy, like that's interesting.
Superior like force back then.
Yeah.
Like now they're like, ooh, hanging on by a thread. But back to Obi-Wan, I'm excited that we're going to be seeing more, like, this is going to be, they're saying it's going to be a very powerful Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be him in his prime.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see a whole lot. Like, I'm really hoping that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader don't have a scene together.
I hope not either. I hope that's going to be like a season 2 thing if this lasts.
I'm hoping it doesn't exist at all. It doesn't make sense. Like they shouldn't.
No, because they like in the movie that was supposed to be their last fight, their final.
Between then and New Hope. Yeah. But I think we're gonna see one thing. I think they're gonna do that's really interesting is it's basically the Obi-Wan show is going to be kind of two shows. It's going to be Obi-Wan, what's going on with him, and the Darth Vader show.
Yes.
And they're interconnected because of like the Inquisitors, but you're going to see Darth Vader hunting down Jedi.
Yeah.
Like have you ever read any of the comics of Darth Vader?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I haven't either, but I have.
What are you asking me for?
No, but I have seen like certain scenes from different comic series, the actually in canon Darth Vader since Disney bought him, and some of them are just like he's just one bad dude. Like,
question: are we going to be seeing him possibly? Do you think take up anyone like a mantle, like let's say
apprentice? I hope not. I don't want him to do
Star Wars
Force Awakens
Unleashed or something.
Force Unleashed. Yeah, I did Force Awakens.
Is that the second?
No, Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2. Force Unleashed 2 was bad,
but game. First one was amazing.
That game was super fun.
I played that on PSP, I remember, and it was that good.
Wow.
What about Luke?
Luke Skywalker. He's
Is that the only guy you know?
They showed Luke in the trailer though, so little kid,
Luke. 10 years old or something.
I don't know, something like that.
We hear Darth Vader at the end of the trailer. He's breathing. I heard too a rumor if they weren't gonna have Darth Vader, they were gonna bring back Darth Maul.
I heard that too, and they deny that. It seemed the rumor was initially Maul was supposed to be in it, and they pivoted to Darth Vader.
What if they're just tricking us? What if they're doing the two-sided story, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan? What if Obi-Wan does a standoff with Darth Maul?
I could see Maul being in season 2, but here's the thing. Because by the time Maul shows up on Tatooine to confront Obi-Wan, like Obi-Wan's been there a while. He's looking kind of old, and this is the start of it. Is kind of like the very beginning. Like he hasn't been there a super long time. I guess you could say like 9 or 10 years because that's how old Luke is. But the interaction between Maul and Obi-Wan in Rebels is just so great, but it's so short. Like, I don't want Darth Maul to be a character. That story's been told in Rebels, and it was great.
Listen, hear me out. What if they bring the voice actor and made him play as Maul?
No, I would like that, but I just want, if they did a live action version of that scene, that would be great, but I don't need the whole story again. It's already been told.
Right.
So, I mean, it'd be a small part.
But I don't think it would fit in. I feel like...
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
I think if they bring Darth Maul back, they need to bring him back to season 3 of Mandalorian. Some form of way. Don't know how. Don't know about why.
No, he's definitively dead.
I know he is technically because he's dead in way before that.
Obi-Wan kills him.
Yes.
Like
yeah. But it would be nice. I don't know. I just want to show live action of the Clone Wars because my motivation watching Clone Wars is very little.
Yeah, Clone Wars got great stories, man. It's definitely worth it. I will say the first season could be a little rough, but like the further it goes, the better it gets. And I do think if you were to watch it, there are storylines you can skip. Like even in the final season, which I think was great, I think you could skip the entire middle section, which is like a 3 or 4 episode arc. It's fine. But to me, if you watch the beginning and you watch the very end,
how many seasons is there?
5 or 6. It's not a lot. Yeah.
How many? Probably like 15 to 20 some episodes. Probably?
Yeah, something like that each. And they're not long. They're like half-hour episodes.
I was gonna say they're probably like 20 some minute episodes.
Yeah, so like
TV I broadcast. Might give it a shot.
Yeah, just know the first season's a little disjointed, but once they get to actually telling stories, really, instead of just like one-off episodes, kind of starts off with one-off episodes, it gets great.
I'll put it on my to-do list.
Yeah, you won't do it. Anyway.
Wow.
Obi-Wan, it's coming out in May, so soon. I'm excited about it. Another show I'm excited about, less excited, but still excited about, is the Halo TV show, which is just starting to get reviews on its first 2 episodes.
That is in a week.
Yeah, it's coming out next week. And it's getting generally good reviews. Not great, but good. Mm-hmm. Which, you know what? I had really low expectations for it. I thought it was actually, even though I liked some of the stuff I saw in the trailers, I was like, I could see this being bad. People do say it's different than the games. Like, it's not the games, it's its own thing, but it's still Halo.
Yeah.
They say it's great.
It's kind of hard to retell a story that's already been told through video games.
Yeah. The review I read, because like I looked at review scores, but I only like skimmed one of the reviews because I don't want any like spoilers or anything. But the one review I said it's like 2 different versions of Halo, but they complement each other well, and it's great to have both.
That's all I needed.
I'm fine with that.
I've seen also before we get to the next thing, we should mention the one thing that gets released this month too that we didn't put on there.
What's that?
Moon Knight. Don't forget Moon Knight.
Oh, that does come out soon.
That's the 30th.
Yeah, there was another trailer for it, but it's like I don't need to see anything else. I'm excited for the show.
There wasn't really anything else. They really just signified that he does have multiple personalities or personas.
Which I'm glad. Yeah, I was a little worried they might not do that.
Three different people, like 3 different lifestyles he's living, basically.
That's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah.
So the big movie news, and it's not really news, but we had the big release of the Batman. Was that last week or the week before?
That was.
It was the week before, wasn't it?
Week before, not last Friday, the Friday before that.
Yeah, or in some cases, the Wednesday. Because, man, this movie was getting super early screenings.
Yes. Man, okay, I'll just start with that movie was great.
Yeah.
Personally, best Batman movie I've seen.
It's an excellent movie. The best description I heard was like, this was the best Batman movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe not the best movie that has Batman in it. Because, and I personally agree with this. I think The Dark Knight is a better movie. But that movie's really more about Joker. Batman's just kind of a character in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a Joker movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the best version of Batman I think we've seen. Now, Christian Bale's still the best Bruce Wayne, but we haven't really seen Robert Pattinson even be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
he's barely Bruce Wayne in this movie at all.
Which is funny. I've been hearing like a few streamers, they were finally talking about the movie because they finally seen it, and other people are like, Pattinson's not a good Bruce Wayne. I'm like, we can't justify that. We've only seen him play as Batman, really. He was only Bruce Wayne maybe for 5 minutes.
And here's the thing, that with his Bruce Wayne, you know, I think a lot of people forget, because I've heard that complaint too, like he's not a good Bruce Wayne. This is still year 2 for Batman.
Yes,
he is so enveloped in the persona of the Batman, like he doesn't care about Bruce Wayne anymore at this point.
Exactly.
At this point, him having to be Bruce Wayne, he hates it to his fiber and everything. I think in the second movie, we'll see more Bruce Wayne because, you know, as the first as this one ended, you know, he realized he has to be more than just vengeance. He has to be a symbol of hope. And I think that'll also translate to his Bruce Wayne persona, because he'll want to be like, I can provide hope in my actual life as well.
I mean, people don't realize, like, Bruce Wayne does a lot of stuff to make it easier on the Batman. Financially, and just Bruce Wayne can still do a lot of detective work so that Batman doesn't get caught, I guess, as Bruce Wayne. But we only had like 5 minutes of him being Bruce Wayne. One, like you said, he's year 2 Batman. He's still traumatized. He's still young. He's like our age as being Batman. He was 25 in year 1 Batman when he started becoming Batman. And he's still traumatized, you know, of like having no parents, having just his butler around, him telling him what to do, but then he suddenly realized he wants to do more, but not as Bruce Wayne, because people are mocking him as Bruce Wayne, like, oh, you're a rich orphan, dude. You have all this money, you can do what you want. And then he's like, well, I need to use this money for something better and make me feel better. So I use all my rage and vengeance on villains and criminals. I love the detective work.
Yeah, that's something we've not seen in a Batman movie, which is crazy because that's such a big part of the Batman character.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. And up until this point, I mean, really, did even the Christian Bale Batman do any kind of detective work?
No detective work.
Like, the most he did was in The Dark Knight, that like screen thing where he was like, and even that's not like detective work. As much as I love that movie, like, we just haven't seen that part of Batman in a movie, and this movie was very much a mystery movie.
See, I love the detectiveness. I feel like I've been listening to other people, and are like, it wasn't really good detective kind of Batman, because you want the audience to be part of it and trying to figure it out too. I'm like, I'm not there to try to figure out the story of the movie. I want the person doing it, like Batman. I want him to figure out the.
And here's the thing,
the riddles and who's in trouble or who's going after who.
I'm okay with like Batman being kind of outriddled by the Riddler. Like, that's his thing.
Yes, that is.
So the fact that he didn't have everything perfect by the end, I'm okay with that. And the only thing I really didn't like about the movie, I didn't like the teased character. That was pointless.
Oh, Joker?
Yeah. That felt like out of sync with the rest of the movie.
It was I guess it was a little odd, but I mean, to be honest, we don't know what he did year 1 of being Batman. He could have already faced the Joker.
Yeah, well, they've said he's not the Joker yet.
He has to be. He laughed at the end.
They say this is him pre-Joker persona and everything. So apparently there was a whole scene with him earlier in the movie that got cut.
Him out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You see the guy who did play that part, right?
Yeah, I like him as an actor. He's a good actor.
People are like, I don't see him being Joker. I honestly do see him as Joker.
I am never going to judge a Joker casting again, because I will never forget when
here we go. Here, just say it. Hit me with it.
I can't think of his name.
Jared Leto.
No.
What?
No. When
Heath Ledger.
When Heath Ledger was cast as Joker,
he was
universally, people were like, that is the worst casting. Why would you do that? And then the guy goes out, and he wasn't alive to see it, unfortunately, but wins an Oscar for the part.
Dude.
And he made that movie.
This is why I don't really. I care about casting to an extent, obviously, because you can see past movies and other stuff. But like, you never know nowadays. I think he'll. I don't know. I'm positive it's Joker, but I feel like it's just an early stage. I don't think he'll be in the next movie at all. I think he'll be like Two-Face or some other characters. Bane maybe. Another thing. So the part where he got shot with a shotgun or the weapon.
Yeah.
What do you think's in that little serum bottle?
They've said it's just adrenaline. It's not venom.
It's venom. It has to be. Come on, connect some movies, some points here and there.
Yeah, they've said it's just adrenaline. So
I don't believe them. You can't believe
I 100%.
Hollywood.
I 100% believe it.
But no, great Batman. And then what's funny is a week later, I don't know if you saw it today or yesterday when I saw it, they released concept art of Ben Affleck's Batman. What a movie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
What?
The suit looks sweet.
Yeah.
And then they showed who was going to be the villain, Deathstroke's suit.
I do want to see Deathstroke as a Batman villain for sure. Was Matt Reeves the one who was going to do the Ben Affleck Batman movie?
That I'm unsure of.
I don't remember. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm glad it wasn't Ben Affleck, even though I did actually like Ben Affleck as Batman.
No, I like Ben Affleck. I wish he had a second chance, but I feel like
this version's better. I like this version a lot better.
Yeah, but I feel like Ben Affleck would have did good as a older Batman, which we'll see his last chance of being Batman in the Flash movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm not excited about that movie.
Not either, especially when two of the most anticipated DC movies have been moved to next year.
Yeah, that movie just seems to me like it's gonna be
just thrown together,
a dumpster fire.
Literally, the Batman is probably the best start to move forward DC movies.
Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna see Robert Pattinson in the Flash movie, just because I think they're gonna completely relaunch DC with Flashpoint.
I'm okay with that as long as I see Robert Pattinson be a multi-movie thing. I want him to be the next Robert Downey Jr. of DC.
Yeah.
Or Chris Evans.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, that's our Batman talk.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Recommend it.
Yeah. I think I gave it like 9.5, but that was just like little things, I guess. Yeah. I pretty much would give it 10.
Yeah. I think it's going to be on HBO Max soon.
Yeah, they really wanted the theoretical release first, obviously.
Theatrical?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm. Theoretical means in theory.
Yeah, in theory, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So Sony had a state of play. Was that this week? My time's all mixed up. I believe it was this week.
No.
Early this week. Yeah, it was.
Yes,
I think
because
it was,
you have tomorrow's on there.
It was Monday, I think. I don't know. No, it was last week. It was the end of last week.
It was Thursday last week.
Yeah. People really got convinced online that this was going to be something, that they were going to announce some cool stuff, even though Sony did their best to be like, they didn't make I think it was just like a 24-hour notice, like, hey, we're having this thing.
Hey, sorry to
no big deal.
Drop this on you. Don't miss it out. We got some unimportant news for you.
Yeah. So this state of play mostly focused on Japanese developers, things like that, which, it's great. We're not going to talk a whole lot about everything. A lot of the stuff they talked about was stuff that's already out, or like already going to be out soon, like Stranger in Paradise, stuff like that.
Except for the first one that I've never even heard of. Yeah,
so they showed this game by Capcom called Exo Primal, and it's like so close to a game I want to play, but it's not. You didn't see the trailer for this or anything?
No.
So I think it takes place in like Japan or Tokyo or something, and you pilot these mech suits, and they have these storm warnings type things, and dinosaurs get dumps from the sky.
Oh, that's what I did see some of it, and I'm like, what is this junk?
Here's the thing. If it was just robots fighting dinosaurs, I'd be so with it. But this is I think it's free to play. It might not be free to play, but it's a multiplayer PvE versus PvP game, where there's going to be like different objectives and waves of dinosaurs, and whoever does it first wins. And I don't want to play that.
I do remember this because a lot of people were mad. They were like, why didn't you just announce Dino Crisis?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people wanted a Dino Crisis remake.
Because it's a Capcom game, and you have mech suits and dinos.
You didn't have mech suits and Dino Crisis.
I know, but I'm saying the dino part.
Oh, yeah.
But who knows? You can have anything nowadays, anything.
Yeah. I'm not going to play this unless it just becomes amazing. But
I'm not either.
I thought it was worth mentioning because dinosaurs are cool and robots are cool. It's worth mentioning because it's so close to a game I want to play. If this was like some crazy, even if it was like co-op type thing, but like single player where you're just like fighting off swarms of dinosaurs together, that's great.
That game
but
already
when
exists. Game Pass.
What?
The dinosaur shooting.
No. In mech suits.
In mech
difference.
suits.
Mech suits make a huge difference. But
this is true. There was that one with the dragons or something. You're like huge mech suits, like Pacific Rim, member, and it looked really good.
A game?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this.
We talked about like years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This obviously never came out.
It never happened. But they had like this trailer. It looked cool. It could be another.
Oh, yeah. I 100% know what you're talking about. That was that PvP game. Yeah. And
it was like supposed to be free to play. They had this random like dragons or mech dragons too.
Yeah, there was like a mech with a sword. There was a dragon.
Dude, it was like Transformers.
Cool. Yeah. To the extreme.
Yes.
That did look cool. Yeah, if this wasn't PvP, I'd be okay, but whatever. Forspoken has gotten delayed to October 11th. They talked about the game, which is cool. I don't know what they said because I was like, it's Forspoken. We know what it is at this point.
Yeah, so that game looks good, but I don't.
Yeah, here's the thing. That game could come out and be amazing, and I wouldn't be shocked, and it could come out and be awful, and I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I don't know where I stand with it. It's like
it's a game that you're probably gonna wait, buy it when it's cheap, or come on Game Pass.
Well, it's a PlayStation exclusive, at least for a year.
We saw it on the Xbox Store, remember?
Yeah, but I think they've clarified it has like a year, maybe even a 2-year timed exclusivity.
Yeah, we see how that works when supposedly Final Fantasy VII Remake was supposed to be on Microsoft.
Yeah, that
never is gonna happen.
I think it's gonna happen one day, but it's gonna be, and then people are just like, we don't
when
care.
My kid is 10 and can finally play it.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, the most exciting thing for me was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection.
Not even, yeah.
This is it's 13 games, ranging from arcade games to Game Boy games to console games from like the NES, Super Nintendo, stuff like that.
Did this? It says I see it's console games too. Like, did they say platforms? All platforms?
Yeah, this is coming to everything.
Good.
Most of the stuff at the State of Play was coming. Ooh, I don't know if it's coming to Switch.
Man,
I guarantee you it is.
Those games would be perfect.
I guarantee you it is. That is a perfect console for that. Yeah, when I was a kid and video stores were a thing, like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, I rented Turtles in Time multiple times. I'd play it, me and my brother, we'd play it, loved it, and then like months later we'd be looking to see if we could find a cool game to play, and we didn't see anything. We're like, dude, let's just get Turtles in Time again, and we played that game all the way through, probably like 4 or 5 times.
I could remember. I played this a long time ago. Yeah, when my dad still owned his Super Nintendo, I played this.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's worth it.
Nostalgia.
Just to play that game for me.
8.3. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. IMDb.
Yeah, I don't think they had real review systems.
Yeah, back then it was like, okay.
Yeah, but what was more interesting to me was earlier this week, Sony announced they were doing another State of Play this Thursday. That's 100% just about the Hogwarts Legacy game.
Now, seeing that it's going to be exclusive content, exclusive, possibly they're hinting at.
The only reason people think it could be is because this is a Sony State of Play. Like, that makes it there's got to, if at the very least there's a heavy marketing deal, and with Sony willing to do a State of Play for this, there's probably some sort of exclusive content, or it could be even a timed exclusive.
I mean, they're getting to a point that where they kind of have to, because Microsoft is just covering so much ground, and Sony now needs to, or PlayStation, however you want to say it, they need to kind of level it off a bit, you know?
I guess I see what you're saying, but I mean, Sony just had a really good March with like Sifu and Horizon Forbidden West, so I think if anything, momentum's kind of tipping towards Sony right now, but we'll see. I think the further we go in time, we're going to see more of these types of deals, because more, Sony's or Microsoft's buying studios. I think Sony's still going to buy more studios. They already did. What they just buy not that long ago? Bungie. They just bought Bungie. So I think we're going to see, we're going to see more of these types of deals with like exclusive content, things like that. I think my chair is sinking and I feel really short.
You are short.
No, I'm not.
You are taller.
I just realized I was like looking up to my mic.
You're looking up to your mic. So we have this next week.
Like this is weird. But here's the thing. This is one of my most anticipated games. Like, even though they've shown very little, I am so dumbly in love with the Harry Potter and Wizarding World.
You're not the like. I mean, I love the movies. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like getting involved into a video game, creating your own character, like spells, and it's gonna be very RPG. Sorry, I'm hearing things.
I don't know what you're hearing.
I don't know what it is.
Ghosts.
Ghosts. That's the only answer.
Only explanation.
But RPG, Harry Potter with magic, and to me, I don't think it's gonna be open world. It's gonna be like semi-open.
Yeah, it's probably like a semi-open world,
or like that selective open world parts of the.
Yeah, like different map areas.
What game
and stuff.
Was that had that?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Arceus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a fully open world, but I mean, this is so many people like our age. What's sad is like this. I don't even know if this is for younger kids because they didn't grow up with this. It's like people our age in their like late 20s, 30s, grew up with Harry Potter, like dreaming of getting their Hogwarts letter one day.
Yes.
And it's like we finally get to live out that fantasy.
You said you know what's sad is I'm not gonna be buying it for me. I'm gonna be buying it for my wife and my sister-in-laws probably.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, we just want to come over and play some Harry Potter. I'm like, too bad, I'm playing it already.
Yeah.
Get out. No, but like my wife would be like very thrilled to actually see this and might be her first time playing a video game.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
all for it.
I'm interested to see what they do. I think they made a smart decision by setting it in the 60s.
Oh, it's back in the day. I know that.
It's not current, which I think is great. Hogwarts Legacy. We are Googling it right now if you're listening to the podcast. It's in the 1800s. Yeah. I think that's smart. Not having modern technology to deal with and stuff. And
it feels right.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Feels great. So, super excited for that game. I 100% will play that day one, and I think it'll take up a whole lot of my time. Plus, Avalanche is a good studio, so I trust them to make a good game.
Yeah. Up next, new Starfield information was released.
Yeah, so, there was I think it was just today, they talked about Starfield more. It sounds like a Bethesda game. It's just like
not even by what they said, like the little clip that we saw. That it clearly, I was like Bethesda.
Yeah,
Bethesda.
Like right now, better looking than it's been in a lot, like ever.
Yes,
like it looks incredible, graphics wise. But like they showed like an 8-second clip of like a companion character, and they talked about how companion characters are gonna react more naturally to your character and stuff. It's a Bethesda game.
We shouldn't have any issue with this game.
No.
Because they're putting Fallout stuff on the back burner, putting all their marbles, their coins, their gadgets, whatever they own is on that table for this game.
Yeah, I'm just more excited for, I think this summer we'll get a better, I think Microsoft will do a whole showcase for this game.
Is it this November or next November?
It's this November, so it's got to be this summer. Like,
wow. And we're in stinking March.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a year for games, man.
It's like what year and a half ago was like, man, Robert Pattinson is Batman, and then we're almost following up with new Starfield when we just got a release. Like what they talked about it a year and a half ago too.
Well, they mentioned Starfield for the first time, like I think like 3 years ago, but it was just like a title. And then they talked about it more at Xbox's showcase last year. And then, if we would have got an E3, is E3 canceled? I think it was.
At this point, you're going to be seeing your E3 shows right here. Just right here. You get the information right.
Yeah. I think Microsoft will do a showcase this summer, and we're just going to get a huge expose on.
Yeah, it's probably going to be called like Microsoft Expo. Something. Yeah. Because they have
it's probably going to, honestly, it's going to be called the Microsoft Bethesda Expo.
They have so many developers and companies now. It's just crazy. And Sony is just going to have their own thing. And there won't be any PC kind of thing either.
Well, I mean, everything Microsoft does is PC too, so.
Yes, but I mean, like, for E3, there was PC gaming portion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still going to get stuff. Like, there's still going to be the Summer Game Fest, all that stuff.
Which is actually pretty huge. It's basically like the new E3.
Yeah, it's kind of like new E3. But, yeah, so they talked about Starfield. If you want to know more about what they talked about, I'd say look it up. It wasn't anything worth like bringing up trying on the show, but just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and hopefully we get more information by November.
Yeah.
But good news, all you Destiny fans, we actually finally beat the raid.
Yeah. Yeah, so last weekend, we were able to get through the raid finally, because we attempted it when challenge mode was on, contest mode or whatever.
Contest mode was on. I bet you if we had one person,
here's the thing: we don't have a set raid group. There's 3 of us, and then we have to find people, which is unfortunate because we used to have a full raid group, but our friends betrayed us, and one of them might be watching right now. So I will just say you betrayed us.
Well, I don't think Wyatt was a raid person.
He was for Destiny 2.
Was really?
Yep, he did Leviathan with us.
I don't remember that for some reason.
But the OG crew, yeah, they definitely abandoned us, and I will never forgive them.
Midge. What else is better than Destiny? That's all I'm saying.
But anyway, so challenge or contest mode just wasn't happening for us. We didn't get past the first encounter. Well, I guess the first encounter in the pyramid, I guess you could technically consider the entrance into the pyramid encounter. But
when I say first encounter, you actually get loot from it. I feel like.
Yeah, the first thing you get loot from. We couldn't do that. But we got with a really good group for the weekend, especially one guy who was great, did all the hard stuff for everybody. But we were able to get through the raid, and I can definitively say it's one of the best raids they've done.
One of the best.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say it's the best, but here's the thing. It's not out of the argument for me.
I say it's one of 3 that's good. Taken King. Vault of Glass.
Oh, you put Vault of Glass that high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so nostalgia. Like, this one put it up there because I don't know, I felt that original Destiny raid vibe for some reason when I was playing it.
Yeah.
But also I felt very overpowered, which I did not like. I felt too strong.
Yeah. They did make the power or the leveling a lot easier, it seems like, with this expansion. I definitely put it up there with King's Fall, and the other one I would put up there is the one with the dragon.
Wrath of the Machine?
No, the one with the dragon from Forsaken.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank here. We both are. We're good at this. We like Destiny, we promise. We're looking it up now. This is great. Last Wish. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get to play the previous raids because I didn't have a group.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
I only played, obviously, Leviathan raid, which actually was fun too. I liked it, and we did that multiple times. It felt like old times when we did that because we actually had our normal group,
basically the whole crew. But by the time Meteor Worlds came out, they were gone.
Yeah,
they betrayed us, stabbed us in the back. So this new raid, Vow of the Disciple, for me, full of surprises.
Yeah, first, when you were going into it, what were you thinking the bosses were going to be?
So I knew what the bosses were because
you cheated.
Well, I had to watch videos on the encounters.
No, I meant before, like before the raid came out.
Oh, before the raid came out.
When you
Yeah, so my worry.
Yeah, I watched it. Did the same thing.
My worry was you were going to get all the way to the end, and there was just going to be a giant Scorn who was just sitting there.
Exactly.
And there was some weird mechanic because they've in a lot of raids they've done that type of thing. Even Deepstone Crypt, like with Taniks, that was kind of to me. I'm like, what? Why? Why is it Taniks?
And what was there was another one with the huge Hydra, was it at the end? Or was it something else?
The Eater Worlds had the huge Hydra. And then there was the one, I never did it, the one with the giant I just said Eater Worlds. I don't remember. It was the one Savathun influenced, kind of. I don't remember what it's called. That might have even been a dungeon now that I'm thinking about it.
I think that was a dungeon. Yeah, that was a dungeon.
That was a dungeon. But yeah, so many times in the past, we have gotten in these raids where like the final boss is kind of an afterthought.
It never synced with the campaign or like the theme of that season or whatever.
And because here's the thing, this boss doesn't really sync with the campaign, but it definitely syncs with the theme of the season.
Well, it syncs with.
I mean, it does, but like you don't realize it until after you do the raid, and you're like, "Oh man, this has been going on this whole time." I was genuinely shocked to see. If you don't know, you're about to find out that there was a brand new species as the final boss. This was the first time we've had a new species, really, since Destiny 1. Actually, it is since Destiny 1 with the Taken, if you even count the Taken as a new species.
Yes, that is true.
This is the first new species, I would say.
Was created whenever they...
With Kingsfall. Or Taken King. I would, and I don't even... Yes, there are new species, but they're not. I would say this is the first brand new species.
They're basically shadows of existing species.
This is the first brand new species since the launch of Destiny, like 8 years ago. I don't know. Now, I do think he's going to be a one-off of his kind. I don't think this is going to be a species we see more of. But this was my favorite raid boss ever. As much as I liked, Taken King, King's Hall, and a bunch of the bosses, I liked this boss the most because he was so different than anything we've had in Destiny before. We've never had a mobile raid boss. Really, we haven't had an encounter really with a mobile character. That much mobility.
This is true.
You did
always had a stationary boss.
Stationary or mostly stationary.
I know what you mean. Like
the big thing that you just all gather together in one spot and shoot. With this raid,
you have to be on the move.
Here's the thing. Every other raid they have ever done, if you are the only warlock in the group, you are running well. At least for Destiny 2, when well became a thing. In Destiny 1, you were running self-res because that was extremely important back then. And I miss self-res. But every raid in Destiny 2, if you are a warlock, you run well, and you have to have a titan with bubble. Neither of those are effective against Rolk, which is the name of that character.
It's funny as I read, like, people were like saying, "Oh, these subclasses are the best ones to use in the raid."
Before it came out? Or after?
It was after contest was done, and I was just like, looking at like what guns are good to use. Actually, it was this week, and I was like, "Oh, these subclasses are good." I'm like, I think actually any subclass would be okay.
Yeah, basically you want your subclass and your weapons to be able to do most damage possible. So if you're Warlock, you're running Nova Bomb, which when's the last time you ran a Nova Bomb in a raid?
That's why through the raid we were doing it. You were switching back and forth, I think, with different subclasses. You were using well sometimes and then Nova Bomb.
I ran well on one encounter, the Caretaker, which I think the Caretaker is a really cool character too.
It took me like 3 tries to figure out
what you were doing,
why he wasn't getting stunned.
I'll talk more about the Caretaker in a second because I think even his lore is super cool. But I only ran it for that one encounter, but even he's pretty mobile. Like there's like 3 levels and he's climbing the entire time. He's not just sitting in one place. He is slow though, so it is pretty easy. But he like,
what is it? He's like a,
so okay.
Those ogres from Scorn. He was a.
He is a Scorn, but this is the first character we've seen since the Hive that has a worm
ability of some sort.
They have what's the word? Why can't I think of it? Symbiote, basically. So like, you know, Savathun, Zivur, all those Hive characters, like we're used to that. This is the first to take on a worm that wasn't a Hive, and I just think it's really interesting. That's why he's so different than the other Scorn. Like he's basically a host now for the worms.
Whoa.
But yeah, we kill him, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now, but
he's cool.
That's crazy.
The lore behind this raid is great, especially Rourke. You really learn a lot about him and how he is one of the... I don't know if he's the Witness right-hand man. I kind of think he isn't.
Yeah, I think he was.
He's at least...
I think he like specified like in the raid like he was.
I know he's at least a very important general type character for the Witness. But this guy is like... He's taken out star systems worth. Like, he makes the Hive look like they were nothing with what he did. There's a giant bone from the Leviathan, which that's getting deep in Destiny lore, where he basically just went up against the Leviathan, pulled out his rib, and was like, what are you going to do? And he's nowhere near the size of the Leviathan, in case you're wondering. He's actually not huge.
He's
not huge. But I love his encounter. I thought it's actually not a hard encounter. In the grand scheme of things, it's not
you just literally got to pay attention. That's really the thing.
You have to be on your toes at all times.
If you don't keep your eyes on him, he's gonna flash speed over to you and give you a 1-2 kick and kick you off the edge or just immediately dead.
I do think in contest mode, a lot of those blasts he does, I guarantee you, they're one-hit kills, which would have made that actually very hard. Because I got hit by those quite a few times where I'd have a sliver of health.
Not just like the blast. Me personally, it was always like they flew me.
Yeah,
just flew me off the edge. That's what would kill me. But I don't think I've died. I don't think I died off that part.
Yeah, I died there once. We did that encounter in like 3 attempts, I think. 3 is the most.
2 or 3.
It was either 2 or 3. I think it was 3. So yeah, it wasn't a super difficult encounter, but it was just super fun. I like the whole aesthetic. I mean, if you really get into the deep lore, you find out that the mother of all the Hive worm gods was like in this this pyramid, and the thing is massive, and I still don't fully understand if it was like generating power from it or what exactly was going on there, but it like wasn't a good thing for the worm god.
Is these in the little notes, or did you?
This is in the some of it's in the different like armor pieces, even the lore.
Okay.
But I mean, my name is Bife. That's where I'm really getting it. Bife and Paul Tassi. I don't know if you watch any of his stuff.
No, Bife, yes.
He's not really a lore guy, but he talks about lore some. Basically, Rourke is just one bad dude, where he went down after he took the Leviathan bone, went down to the deep where all the worms were like, and he's like, I'm either going to kill y'all or you're going to come with me. And it was just like...
And then that's how Caretaker basically did what he did?
Well, and the Caretaker just came later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's crazy stuff. Like, I haven't even listened or read up on all of it, but I love... One of my favorite things about this raid was just the aesthetic.
When you talk about this stuff, that's why it gives me, like, want me to actually read the lore. Like, I don't read it.
I don't read it because it's a lot of it's really fragmented, and like the lore books are easy to read, but like a lot of it you get from like armor pieces and all.
I wonder if
that's
they're
on
in the Gilmore books.
Grimoire? I don't think that even exists anymore.
Yeah, there's 3 books, but I don't know if if they're in that.
Yeah, like armor items, descriptions
only...
and stuff. Like the actual books, yeah. I just get people put together stuff on YouTube and I just listen to it. But I love the aesthetic of this raid. I think what they did with the pyramids is super cool. The way they made it look. I especially like... I wish I had been there in the meeting when they were like working out the pyramid aesthetic, and somebody's like, "We're gonna have a horse with a bunch of butts." Because there's like horses, and they'll have like 7 or 8. It's just like,
but I feel like they're like,
how did that get approved? It's so funny when you think about it. Like, who came up with that?
Let's you know that candy that you have insects in? Let's make it into like pieces of the worm in there.
Yeah,
and stuck in the glue.
Yeah, like it's so funny. But yeah, it's really cool. I would say if you're a Destiny fan, even if you don't raid hardly or if never raided, you should attempt this one. Get with a group on LFG and try it.
If you have people who have done the raid now, you shouldn't have an issue with all of you guys communicating. It's actually I would say it's just up there easy as Vault of Glass. It's I mean, I feel like Vault of Glass is pretty easy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the new one is. I didn't play the D2 one. I don't know if they changed a lot of it yet, or
I don't know. I didn't play the D2 one either, but yeah, I would say it's definitely easier than first time doing Leviathan or first time doing King's Fall.
Yeah, Leviathan, you can get lost in that place.
Dogs was dumb.
I feel like that was the worst.
I actually like that encounter now going through it. Well, you can't now, but I like that encounter once you learned it and you got good with it. But
it won't come back.
I don't know when it'll come back. Probably eventually, but
yes and no, but I mean anything's possible. They brought back Mars.
Yeah, I mean we know another raid's coming out soon, but they're bringing back an old one. But
wonder what that is.
Yeah, it's almost 100% King's Fall, which I will play so much.
I will play that so many times.
That might be my favorite raid ever, King's Fall.
I bet you.
The more I think about it, I just got really excited with the prospect of playing King's Fall, and I was thinking about the encounters like Golgoroth and the War General, all of them.
But I also think I can only imagine. I bet you the exotic weapon you get out of that is the
Grasp of Malice.
Grasp of Malice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That was like you pretty much needed that gun. I felt like in that raid.
It definitely made it a lot easier.
Everybody was using that thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely made it a lot easier. But yeah, so we don't have to talk about this super long, but just all the Destiny expansions, where would you slot in which green, you think?
Like top, like best?
Yeah, like, I mean, we don't need a full list, just like...
It's up there with Taken King.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so too. It's up there with Taken King and Forsaken for me.
Forsaken's just underneath those two. I mean, I loved Forsaken because it showed what Bungie was capable of doing in grasping our emotions a lot now.
This is gonna sound funny. I think Forsaken would be a lot better if we had a crew that we were playing with. Because we didn't. Even me and you, because wasn't crossplay then, weren't playing it together. Mm-hmm. So me, you, and our other friend Julius, who plays, none of us were playing together because we're all on different consoles. So we did all that solo.
I really wish I hope they bring back some of those raids, content, certain things, so we can
run through it again. It'd be fun. So yeah, I had down for us to talk about what we've been doing, but I think it's mostly just been Witch Queen.
Exactly.
I played more Ark, which I like, but
I have it. I mean, I have it. It's hard to find time now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be grinding Destiny. Not Friday because I'm hanging out with all you guys. Probably Saturday if it's still raining.
Yeah, me too. Probably.
Maybe tomorrow. I don't
want to try the raid again.
Me too. So it's probably we can speed run it now.
Yeah, I mean, if we get the right people again, for sure.
Well, one of the clan, what's his name, was wanting to do it last night. I was like, dang.
Really?
Yeah. It's like it didn't take us long once he jumped in. It literally was when we start
we did it
9-ish.
We
started
2.5
9
hours,
and we did it
like
after. It was more like 3 or 4.
Was it?
But the first encounter was rigged.
That's right.
But yeah, we've been playing Witch Queen, raid, grinding, all that good stuff.
I do intend to play Horizon soon. I just needed a break from that type of game. But been thinking about it lately that I might pick it back up. Who knows? I might try to stream that. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons I don't like streaming, and this is, you'll understand, I have that LG OLED TV. When I'm streaming, I'm on like my not great computer monitor, and I'm like, this doesn't look nearly as good. So I need to figure out a way to stream and play on my TV. Like, just like
you can.
I can figure it out. Yeah.
I mean, I can help you set that up. That's no problem.
Well, no, it's not a difficulty from setting up. Just like a actual setting up how I have the cameras, like where, and like stuff like that. I'm like, I don't feel like doing all that right now. It's not that it's difficult.
You should. I know a way.
Oh, there's so many ways. Like I said, it's not difficult. I just am lazy.
You don't even have to do that. Just, turn the camera on your laptop. Be like, okay, just have all this plugged in. You're just there on your couch.
Yeah.
A lot of people do couch streams.
Yeah. I would do it more that way, but I got that nice desk and everything. I just feel bad. Anyway.
Dude, that TV's nice.
The TV's super nice.
I'd play on that TV all day long.
That's the thing, man. Like anytime I play a game that like looks good, I'm like, man, I wish I was playing this on my OLED.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah. I have told many people it ruins other TVs for you.
Yeah. I can only understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much of your Destiny content for the week. You can always email us. It's nerdnestpodcast@gmail.com. You can just shoot us opinions, things that you want us to talk about on there. That'd be great. You can catch me on Twitter. It's _Haviland_. And we have the podcast, Twitter as well. It's just Nerdnest Podcast, right?
Yep.
Nerdnest Podcast.
Nerdnest Podcast.
You can shoot a message there too if you want some contact with us. And where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jebediah Superfly. I don't tweet nearly enough.
I don't either, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. If you follow, great. If you don't, great.
Great. All right, guys. That is it for the podcast. We'll catch you next week.
Peace out.